Right, we are looking at Wales versus Switzerland today. This is going to be their first game of the tournament. We'll just go through, I guess, their lifetime matches against each other. Wales have actually lost this game 5 times against Switzerland. They seem to be having a lot of trouble with their starting lineup and not knowing who's going to be in it. One of their biggest omissions, though, is their manager. Ryan Giggs is not going to be there. So I don't know what issues they're going to have with that. Maybe it's a big miss. Maybe it's the right move to do. For me, I think they're going to be the whipping boys. So I actually, of this group, and it's an interesting one because obviously it's a lot of Premier League names. I know nothing about European football as Wu's gone. So, I see names that I find familiar and I look at someone like Bale and I'm like, okay, Bale's a big name. He's the biggest name of the lot. Maybe they'll do well. But seeing him play this year and probably the last few years is very hit and miss. If Bale comes out as Bale, they'll win. If he doesn't, he doesn't. That's my assessment of the game. What do you reckon, Maury?
So I wouldn't necessarily say that Wales are going to be the whipping boys. I agree with the sentiment, and it does look like a tough ask, to be honest, to get out of that group. We've spoke about before the other 3 teams, not so much Switzerland, but certainly Turkey and Italy look quite tasty. What I will say about Wales is they've got enough players on their day that if 2 or 3 of them click, they could cause some real problems. Players like Dan James, players like Gareth Bale, Joe Allen, Aaron Ramsey. These are seasoned pros now. These are seasoned, experienced pros. The only issue I have with them is do I think they're going to wind the clock back and do what they did in 2016? Personally, I can't see it. I mean, they've got good younger players coming through like Ampadu, Harry Wilson, but to be honest with you, I don't see a repeat of 2016. You look at that Switzerland team, and while it's not stacked, there's 7 or 8 what you would call seasoned professionals. Rodriguez, the left winger, he was at Wolfsburg, he's now at Torino. Loris Benito, the Bordeaux left back, who probably is going to play centre back of a back 3. And then you've got Sommer, Elvedi, and Mbolo. Oh, and Zakaria. You've got 4 Mönchengladbach players in there who are a kind of a top 5 or 6 German team. So they're used to playing with each other every week. And then, we all know about Granit Xhaka and we all know about Sheridan Shaqiri from watching the Premier League. So
that means they're probably going to lose.
Yeah. What it is I think that both of these squads are quite similar in terms of they lack real star quality. Obviously, Wales have got Bale and Ramsey, and Switzerland haven't really got anyone of star quality. But I would say that their average player is probably a bit better than Wales's average player. I don't know how you feel about that, Dan.
Dan, well, before you start, isn't it a thing where with Granit Xhaka, obviously us being Arsenal, me and Rory being Arsenal fans, and me absolutely hating him for Arsenal, isn't it a thing with him being the talisman of Switzerland and just playing a whole different game and carrying him forward?
Well, I think for Switzerland, he's got Zakaria. He's got Zakaria next to him, but also Switzerland aren't playing against Premier League opposition every week.
No, I guess not, but they are this week, I guess.
Yeah, and Championship.
Yeah, I think you both kind of hit the nail on the head. I looked at this game, and this game is basically Mönchengladbach against Bournemouth. You've got 4 or 5 Mönchengladbach players, and you consider they're a top 5, top 6, definitely German team. In fact, they were fighting for the Championship halfway through the season. So, and then you've got a team in Bournemouth. They've got the Harry Wilsons and the Chris Mephams and a few other Bournemouth players in that Wales team, and they didn't even couldn't get through the playoffs in the Championship. And that for me is exactly what this game is. This is a Championship team against a pretty decent top of the German league team. So there's only one winner for me. I don't think Wales stand a chance. I also agree. I think they probably will be the whipping boys. They're so reliant on Bale, so reliant on him. He is the only real proper quality. I know they got Ramsey and everyone else, and you said it, but he's proper quality. But if he doesn't turn up, it's just got no chance. And I think you mentioned Jan Sommer. He's probably one of the best keepers in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, that's true. He's a really good keeper.
Elvedi's a brilliant defender. Zakaria or Zakaria, however you say it, I think he's an excellent midfielder as well.
Zakaria is very good.
Fine. I worry about Switzerland because I'm not sure about their goal. Gavranovic, I think his name was, he scored the hat-trick against Liechtenstein in the week and, won 7-0 in the week. And I'm thinking they've just scored like 13 goals in 3 games or something in their warm-ups. But
yeah,
I do worry about it because, he's, what's he, 32?
Seferovic is a weird one because he hasn't played much for Benfica this year. But if you wanted a striker to bully Championship centre-halves, Haris Seferovic at 6'2".
This is why I think the matchup is a top, good team against the really average team. And so I think Switzerland will lose against a lot of teams in the Euros. I don't think they'll lose against Wales. I think, unfortunately, Wales are not getting out of this group. And when you consider, was it 66% of everyone that finishes third is going to get out of the group?
Yeah.
Wales are not getting out of this group.
Yeah. I'd go along with that. So predictions, Chris?
I think Switzerland are probably going to win. For some reason, I always think that obviously the first games of any tournament are usually quite boring, usually quite timid. I reckon probably say, we'll say 1-0 Switzerland just to keep it nice.
I was going to do similar 2-1, 1-0 Switzerland. I don't think they're going to get hammering. But I'm going to go 2-0 then. I'll go different to you. 2-0.
Okay. I'm going to go against what you two are saying. I can see a ball draw. I think 0-0. I think the likes of Mepham, Ben Davis, Ampadu, whoever else they stick in there at centre half, they can just play a low block, try and catch them on a counter attack. Wales will have very little idea going forward. And Switzerland, as they usually do at tournaments, will just be happy just to pass the ball around in the centre circle. I can see it being a very, very, very boring 0-0 draw.
I think Jan Sommer will keep a clean sheet. I really do.
Well, the only thing you can argue against it being a boring game is if one of these two teams want a chance of getting out of this group, they're going to look at the other team and say, all right, this is the one I have to kind of get a result out of, because they know they're going to struggle against Italy, and they're probably going to struggle against Turkey maybe. But this is one of the teams where you're like, all right, we should be able to get a result, or we need a result if we're going to do it. So it's either going to be 0-0 or 4-4.
For me, I think most people will look at I haven't looked at the odds, but I imagine Switzerland are probably second favourites to get out of this group, and I just don't think they should be. I don't think they're the team they used to be. And and ball draw, I wouldn't be surprised about it at all. So if you're looking forward to watching the game, sorry about
that. yeah, skip it. Do something else.
Maybe skip this one. There's plenty more games to watch.
Yeah. I don't know about this group being the most exciting, but at least for this one. All right. Thanks for that. Hope you like that. Bye.